One of the biggest challenges we face when it comes to sleep isn't physical. It's not the mattress or the temperature or the noise. It's our failure to guard the hours before bed. Those precious, winding down moments we let slip through our fingers because we feel too busy, too important, too connected to step away from the screens, the pings, the endless tasks still looming. You and I both have been there. Finishing dinner at 8:30, telling ourselves, I'll just check email one last time. And suddenly it's 10 p.m. and our brains are buzzing, our backs are stiff, and that crisp boundary between day and night feels like it's vanished into thin air. So in this first part, we're going to reclaim that boundary. We're going to learn how to protect our sleep by setting firm but compassionate limits around the evening and crafting rituals that reinforce those limits so they become as automatic as brushing your teeth. Imagine you decide tonight will be different. You pick a time. You might say 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., whatever makes sense for your life, and you declare a technology curfew. I'm not talking about some rigid rule you break the moment a Slack message pings or a text comes through. I'm talking about a decision you make with intention and kindness. At this hour, I choose to stop working, stop scrolling, and start restoring. And here's how you follow through. You set a gentle reminder, an alarm on your phone that plays a soft chime, not an intrusive siren. When that chime sounds, you pause whatever you're doing. If you're typing out a last-minute email, you finish the sentence that's on your screen, hit send, and then you close the laptop. If you're half watching the news or doom-scrolling headlines, you click the power button, mute notifications, and slip the phone into another room. You might even use a simple box or tray by the door where you place all devices, phones, tablets, laptops, so they're literally out of reach. That physical act of removal is powerful. It tells your nervous system, work is done, now it's time to rest. Next, you transition into what I call the boundary marker. This is a short, mindful pause you take to honor the shift from productivity to self-care. You might stand up, reach your arms overhead, take a deep inhale, and exhale with a gentle ah sound. You could even speak a simple phrase out loud. Day is complete. Now I care for me. It sounds almost too simple, but try it. You'll feel the energy in your spine change. That paused breath, that spoken intention, anchors the boundary in your body, not just in your mind. From there, you move into the next phase of your evening ritual, the restorative snack. I want you to picture yourself preparing something light, nourishing, and satisfying, not because you're hungry, but because you're caring for your body. It might be a sliced apple with a smear of almond butter, or a small bowl of warm oatmeal with cinnamon, or some steamed veggies with a sprinkle of sea salt. The key is to choose whole foods that stabilize blood sugar rather than spike it. As you eat, do it mindfully. Chew slowly, notice the flavors, feel the texture, and pay attention to each bite. Don't bring your phone or tablet to the table. Instead, sit in a comfortable chair, ideally in a softly lit, uncluttered space. As you eat, you're reinforcing your boundary. This time is for nourishment, not for tasks or entertainment. While you snack, you can begin your mental release. Keep a small journal or notepad on that table. After your body is nourished, take 5 minutes to jot down 3 things you're grateful for. Genuine, moment-to-moment gratitude, like I appreciated the way my coworker helped me today. Or, I'm grateful for the crisp air on my evening walk. Then spend another 5 minutes doing a brain dump. Write any lingering thoughts, upcoming deadlines, tomorrow's grocery list, any worries, just enough to transfer them out of your head onto paper. You don't need to craft sentences. Bullet points are fine. Dentist appointment, 10 a.m., follow up on Project X, pick up laundry. Finally, write one rest intention. Tonight I release tension, or my mind is calm, my body relaxes. This sequence, gratitude, brain dump, intention, serves as an emotional boundary marker, clearing mental clutter so your brain can shift gears. With mental and nutritional boundaries in place, you now move into the physical cueing phase. I want you to stand up and move your body in a gentle way. This isn't a workout, it's more like a slow unwinding. You could do 5 minutes of restorative yoga, child's pose, gentle hip openers, cat-cow stretches, or a standing forward fold. Focus on areas where you hold tension, your shoulders, hips, lower back, and breathe into those areas. If you prefer not to stretch, you can take a short walk around your block or simply practice a few minutes of mindful walking around your living room. Feel the soles of your feet contacting the floor. Notice the movement of your legs. This gentle motion signals your body that the day's demands are easing off. Next comes the sensory softening phase. You're going to prime your environment to scream rest on every sensory channel. Dim the lights or use lamps with warm bulbs. If you use essential oils, diffuse a calming scent, lavender, chamomile, or orange blossom, at a low setting. Play soft ambient music or nature sounds at a very low volume. No lyrics, no sudden crescendos, just a gentle wash of sound. And make sure your temperature is cool but comfortable, around 65 to 68 degrees, 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Engage at least 2 senses, sight and smell, sight and sound, or smell and touch with a cozy blanket to create a cocoon of rest. Finally, as you transition into bed, bring back your breath and body scan tools. Lie down comfortably, place one hand on your chest and one on your belly, and take 3 rounds of the 4-1-6 breath. Inhale 4 counts, pause 1, exhale 6, silently affirming, I'm safe, or it's okay. Then guide yourself through a quick 5-minute body scan, noticing tension areas and inviting them to soften. After this, you allow yourself simply to be, without pressure to fall asleep instantly. If your mind drifts to to-dos, gently remind it of your rest intention. If you wake in the night, you follow your in-the-moment protocol we covered earlier. By protecting your evenings with these layered boundaries, digital curfew, verbal intention, mindful nourishment, mental release, gentle movement, sensory softening, and breath-based entry into bed, you build an unbreakable container for rest. Night after night, your system learns that after a certain hour, the only invitation is to unwind, repair, and rejuvenate. Over time, these boundaries become automatic, and you'll find yourself slipping into sleep more easily, waking less often, and feeling more refreshed in the morning. That's the power of evening boundaries. Clear, compassionate limits that protect your sleep like a fortress, ensuring you get the rest you both need and deserve. All right, now that you've reclaimed your evenings with a clear digital curfew, a mindful transition ritual, nourishing snack, emotional release journaling, gentle movement, sensory softening, and breath and body scan entry into bed, let's talk about the next layer. Protecting those boundaries from life's inevitable intrusions. Unexpected work requests, family needs, social obligations, and reinforcing them so they become second nature rather than heroic acts of will. Because setting boundaries once is easy, maintaining them night after night is where the real magic and the real challenge lies. Picture this. It's mid-afternoon on Wednesday, and your phone buzzes with a late-breaking client email. Normally, you'd feel compelled to respond immediately, even if it means creeping into your boundary window later. But tonight, you pause, remember your boundary intention, and reply with something like, "I'll review this first thing tomorrow morning. Thanks for your patience." Then you schedule it, close the app, and let your mind move back to the present moment. That simple deferral is the difference between a boundary you talk about and a boundary you live. You're training your brain and your team that after 8 p.m. work pauses, and you're retraining your own nervous system to let that pause stick. Family and social obligations can also skirt your evening. Maybe you promised your partner you'd catch up on their day, or a friend wants a quick call after dinner. That's fine. Boundaries aren't about isolation, they're about intention. So you carve out a defined connection slot between dinner and wind down, say 7 to 7:30 p.m. You pick up the call, share your day, listen, laugh, be fully present. Then at 7:30, you gently say, "I love our talk, but now it's time for my evening ritual so I can rest well. Let's chat more tomorrow." Your partner or friend appreciates the honesty. Your relationship deepens through clear communication, and your rituals stay intact. On nights when an urgent work issue really does arise, server crash, family emergency, you flex your boundary rather than abandon it. You follow the same ritual sequence, just swapped earlier in the day. You address the urgent task, then step away at your wind down time, maybe pushing it by 30 minutes, but still marking a clear end. You tell yourself, "I handled what I needed to handle, and now I'm choosing rest." That phrase becomes your mantra. You commit to return to resolution tomorrow, but tonight you rest. That compassionate letting go ensures you don't pay for overtime with sky-high cortisol and shattered sleep. If your household is busy, kids, flatmates, pets, you enlist allies in your boundary practice. You share your ritual steps with loved ones. I put my phone away and dim the lights at 8:30 p.m. every night to sleep better. Can you help me by keeping TV turns quiet after that? You might negotiate wear earplugs or schedule kids' screen time earlier so the house is calm by your wind down. You treat others' needs with empathy and ask for theirs in return. That collaboration builds a culture of rest in your home, so you're not the only one sacrificing. Everyone benefits from softer evenings. Then there are the social calls, group chats, late texts, spontaneous Zoom invites. You can automate a friendly auto-reply. "Hey, I'm off screens after 8 p.m. for rest. We'll get back to you tomorrow." That message reminds people you value connection, but also value sleep. Over time, they learn not to expect late responses, and you free yourself from the anxiety of being on all the time. To guard against the sneaky pull of habit, just one more episode or just one more scroll, you create friction points. For instance, you might set an app limit that actually locks you out of social media apps after 8 p.m., or charge your phone in another room so you have to physically get up to grab it. That small obstacle interrupts autopilot and reminds you of your boundary. Finally, reinforce your boundaries through positive reinforcement. Each morning, note in your gratitude journal, "I honored my evening boundary last night and slept 2 extra cycles." Celebrate with a small reward, a favorite tea in the morning, a short walk at sunrise, an extra 5 minutes of quiet before work. These tiny treats wire pleasure into boundary keeping, making your brain associate "I stop work at 8 p.m. with "I feel alive and rested tomorrow." When you layer these strategies, kind deferrals of last-minute requests, scheduled connection slots, compassionate flexibility for true emergencies, allyship in your household, automation of notifications, friction points against temptation, and positive morning reinforcements. You transform evening boundaries from one-off heroics into an ingrained lifestyle. Your evenings become predictable havens of calm, your nights deepen in restoration, and your days spring forward with clarity and energy. Boundaries cease to feel like restrictions. They become invitations to self-care, self-respect, and a fuller, more vibrant life. And that, truly, is the art of building evening boundaries to protect your sleep boundaries and defending them against life's curveballs. Let's dive into the third layer, turning those boundaries into habits so ingrained that they feel as natural as brushing your teeth. Habits stick when we design them with triggers, actions, and rewards. So in this part, I'll guide you through crafting your own boundary habit loop and seasoning it with personal touches that make it utterly yours. First, identify your evening boundary trigger. That dependable cue signaling time to begin my wind down. It might be a clock alarm at 8 p.m. or the sunset's glow through your window. Whatever it is, make it consistent. If you choose sunset, notice it daily. Open a weather app or glance outside, and when you see that golden hour shift to dusk, you know your transition is on. If you choose a clock alarm, select a gentle tone that evokes calm rather than urgency. When that trigger sounds or appears, it's your mind's way of saying, okay, we're done with day mode. Second comes the action, the boundary ritual itself. You already have the sequence. Pause, power down devices, speak your intention, nourishing snack, journal, movement, sensory softening, breath and body scan. But to make it habitual, link each step directly to the trigger. For example, the moment your alarm chimes, immediately reach over, close your laptop, and place it on a designated rest shelf. Then stand up, raise your arms, take a big inhale, and say out loud, "Day is complete." From there, flow into your snack and journaling station across the room. By anchoring each action right after the trigger, and in the same location each time, you're creating muscle memory. Over days and weeks, your body preempts the need for conscious thought. Instead, the ritual unfolds almost automatically, shifting you into rest mode before you even realize it. Now add a reward to seal the habit loop. This reward should be something you genuinely look forward to, and it must land quickly after the action. It could be the first satisfying bite of your snack, the warm aroma of tea hitting your nose, the soft cushion of your journal on your lap, or the relief of turning out the main lights and flicking on your amber lamp. Whatever it is, savor that moment. Let your brain tag it with, "Ah, yes, this is what happens when I honor my boundary." Over time, this pleasurable association deepens your commitment, making the ritual feel less like a chore and more like a treat. Third, personalize your ritual so it resonates with who you are. If you're a musician, maybe your power down alarm is a short musical phrase you composed, and your snack comes with a few chords on a soft instrument. If you love art, perhaps you spend 5 minutes sketching shapes in your journal instead of bullet point brain dumps. If you're a nature lover, swap your indoor walk for a balcony perch to feel evening breezes. The more the ritual reflects your passions, the more engaging and sticky it becomes. Next, anticipate and plan for obstacles. Every habit faces friction. Travel, late meetings, social gatherings. So before you even start, Brainstorm your likely hurdles and design creative workarounds. If you know you'll be out for dinner until 9 p.m., build a mini ritual in your pocket. A 3-minute breath practice in your car before heading home, or a quick stretch in your coat before the taxi ride. If you must send that urgent email at 8:15 p.m., draft it earlier in the evening and schedule it to send automatically at 9 a.m. the next day, so you're free to stick to your curfew. Planning these adaptations in advance keeps your habit intact without guilt. Then, enlist a boundary buddy. Find a friend, partner, or colleague who also wants better sleep or healthier evenings. Commit to checking in once a week, via text or call, sharing your wins and struggles. Even a simple, "I hit my 8 p.m. wind down 5 nights this week," or "I slipped up twice but bounced back," fosters accountability and encouragement. Your buddy might offer fresh ideas, like a new herbal tea recipe, or simply remind you why you started. Community amplifies habit formation. Finally, track your progress in small, doable increments. You don't need a complicated app or a massive spreadsheet. A simple habit tracker. 3 columns labeled trigger, action, reward on a sticky note or whiteboard works wonders. Each evening you complete the loop, check the box. Seeing a string of checks growing day by day provides a dopamine hit that motivates you to keep going. After 3 weeks of consistent checks, your boundary ritual becomes second nature. The friction of breaking it outweighs the friction of maintaining it. By designing your evening boundaries as a habit loop, trigger, action, reward, you transform deliberate effort into effortless flow. You personalize the ritual so it feels uniquely yours. You plan for hurdles and recruit support, and you track your wins to build momentum. This is how you turn boundary keeping from a valiant effort into an ingrained lifestyle that protects your sleep night after night. Once you've mastered this habit architecture, your evenings will feel safe and sacred, your sleep will deepen, and your days will bloom with clarity and energy. In the next and final part, we'll explore how to integrate this habit architecture with the broader tapestry of your life, shifting rhythms seasonally, evolving as your roles change, and keeping your boundary practice alive no matter what. And how to celebrate the ongoing journey of honoring your body's need for rest. And now we arrive at the final piece, knitting your newly ingrained evening boundary habit into the rich tapestry of your life so that it flexes and flows with every shift, whether it's travel, a new job, a baby in the house, or a changing season, while still safeguarding your rest. This is the long-haul strategy, the art of boundary resilience, and it has 5 pillars: seasonal tuning, life stage adaptation, community reinforcement, self-compassion, and ongoing celebration. First, seasonal tuning. Our circadian systems evolved outdoors, where daylight waxes and wanes across the year, and we need to honor those natural shifts rather than fight them. In winter, when nights stretch long and gloom can creep in, you might naturally feel drowsier earlier, so your trigger for lights down could shift from 8 p.m. to 7 p.m. to match your biology. Use a dawn simulator or light therapy lamp in the morning to counteract the extra darkness and anchor your wake time ritual. In summer, when sunset lingers late, keep your core boundary window consistent, but supplement with blackout curtains or an eye mask, because you still need darkness cues to signal melatonin release. Adapt your snack ritual too. Lighter, cooler foods when it's hot. A warm tea or oatmeal when it's cold. Seasonal tuning means you honor your environment rather than resisting it, and that makes your boundaries both more natural and more flexible. Second, Life stage adaptation. Boundaries that worked in your single professional life might need tweaking when you become a parent or caregiver. If you have infants, your box of devices might be replaced by a baby monitor, and your curfew might center on finishing feeds and diaper changes before moving into your restorative ritual. You might do snack and journaling while rocking the baby, or squeeze in your breath and body scan at the crib before sleep. If you're in a high-pressure leadership role, your deferral script for late emails could be, "Thank you for sending this. I'll address it first thing at 8 a.m., so look for my reply then." If you're caring for aging parents, build your connection slot into a consistent evening check-in call so that you know you've honored both boundary and responsibility. Adaptation ensures your boundary practice supports, not conflicts with, your changing roles. Third, community reinforcement. Boundaries thrive in supportive ecosystems. Share your practices with household members. Post a simple evening ritual checklist on the fridge so everyone knows the power down window means family time, reading time, or quiet time. If you live alone, create or join a virtual sleep well group where you share quick check-ins. "I honored my curfew 5 nights this week." Celebrate each other's wins and brainstorm solutions when someone's boundary flags. When you verbalize your commitment publicly, you create social pressure that bolsters your private resolve. And when others see you thriving with better sleep, they're inspired to protect their own rest, multiplying the impact. Fourth, self-compassion as the bedrock. Over years, even the best-laid routines can be disrupted by illness, stress, or sheer human fallibility. When you slip, when you find yourself doom-scrolling at 10:30 p.m. or responding to late texts, resist the inner critic. Instead, pause and gently ask, what happened today that made this boundary hard to keep? Maybe you were overwhelmed, maybe you forgot, maybe you felt lonely. Name it, hold it, and return to your ritual as soon as you're able. Saying, "I forgive myself," or "tomorrow I'll try again," reinforces kindness and keeps your boundary practice sustainable. Research shows that self-compassion fosters resilience and reduces stress, making it far easier to re-engage your habits after a stumble. Fifth, and finally, ongoing celebration. We tend to focus on fixing problems rather than acknowledging successes, but celebrating small victories accelerates progress. Build mini ceremonies into your morning routine. When you wake feeling more rested than usual, smile and say, "Yes," in the mirror, or mark a tally on your habit tracker. Treat yourself to something meaningful, a favorite podcast episode, a gourmet coffee, a walk in nature. Whenever you complete a full week of consistent boundaries, those positive reinforcements wire your brain to seek out the rest-protecting behaviors rather than avoid them. Over months, these celebrations become part of the ritual, like the closing chorus of a song you love. When you thread together seasonal tuning, life stage adaptation, community reinforcement, self-compassion, and ongoing celebration, your evening boundaries transform from a series of discrete steps into a living practice that weathers every change. Your curfew remains sacred, your rituals remain flexible, and your soul remains rested. Midnight wake-ups lose their sting because your entire evening has been devoted to safety and restoration, and your morning self greets you with gratitude and energy rather than exhaustion. So take a deep breath and picture it all. Your digital curfew alarm chimes as the sun dips below the horizon. You power down with ease. You move through your nourishing snack and journaling. You stretch, you soften your senses. You breathe your way into bed. You honor each wake up with kindness. You reflect in the morning. You refine weekly. You adapt by season and by life's stage. You lean on your tribe. You forgive yourself and you celebrate every victory. That, my friend, is the art and science of building evening boundaries to protect your sleep, night after night, year after year, so you live with vitality, presence, and the deep rest you deserve.